The Ugly Duckling. Once upon a time, on a quiet farm beside a sparkling river, there lived a kind mother duck. She made her nest under a big green bush and laid several eggs. Day after day, she sat patiently on them, keeping them warm and safe. Soon, the eggs began to crack. Crack, crack. Out popped fluffy little ducklings, one by one. They were small, yellow, and very cute. The mother duck smiled proudly, but one egg was still left. It was larger than the others. The mother duck waited and waited. At last, crack, the final egg opened. Out came a duckling that looked very different. He was bigger, grey, and not fluffy at all. The other ducklings stared at him. "He's strange," they whispered. "He's ugly," some said. The poor little duckling didn't understand why everyone looked at him that way. He tried to smile and play, but the other ducklings didn't want him near them. Even the farm animals laughed at him. "Go away, ugly duckling," they said. The mother duck felt sad. She loved all her children, but even she worried. "Maybe the world is too hard for you," she said gently. One morning, the ugly duckling felt very lonely. His heart was heavy, and tears filled his eyes. He decided to leave the farm to find a place where he belonged. He walked and walked, past green fields and tall trees. He met wild ducks by a lake, but they laughed at him too. He met geese, but they didn't want him either. Everywhere he went, he felt unwanted. As autumn came, the air grew cold. Leaves fell from the trees, and the nights became long and chilly. The ugly duckling was tired and hungry. Sometimes he slept alone by the river, shivering in the cold. One day he saw something beautiful in the sky. A group of large, white birds flew gracefully above him. They were swans. Their long necks and shining feathers amazed him. "Oh, how beautiful they are," the ugly duckling whispered. "I wish I could be like them." Winter arrived. The river froze, and the ugly duckling struggled to survive. One cold morning, a kind farmer found him and took him home. The farmer helped him stay warm and fed him well. But the duckling was shy and afraid, and when spring came, he returned to the river. Now the sun was warm again. Flowers bloomed, and the trees turned green. One morning, the ugly duckling saw the swans again, swimming peacefully on the water. He felt nervous but brave. "I will go to them," he thought, "even if they chase me away." He swam closer and looked down at the water. Suddenly he froze. In the clear reflection, he did not see an ugly grey duckling. He saw a beautiful white swan with strong wings and a long, elegant neck. The ugly duckling was ugly no more. He had grown into a swan. The other swans welcomed him kindly. Children by the river pointed and said, "Look, that one is the most beautiful of all." The swan felt happiness fill his heart. He remembered his hard days and smiled softly. "I'm glad I did not give up," he thought, and from that day on, he lived happily, knowing that being different was not a weakness. It was what made him special. Beauty and the Beast. Once upon a time, in a quiet little village, there lived a kind and clever girl named Beauty. Everyone loved Beauty because she was polite, helpful, and always thinking of others. She enjoyed reading books and taking care of her father, who was an old merchant. One day, Beauty's father travelled far away to sell his goods. Before he left, he asked his daughters what gifts they wanted. Beauty smiled and said, "Please bring me a rose." Her sisters asked for fancy dresses and shiny jewels. On his way home, the father got lost in a dark forest. Suddenly, he saw a big castle shining with lights. He went inside and found food and a warm place to rest. In the garden, he saw beautiful red roses. He picked one for Beauty. Suddenly, a loud voice said, "Who took my rose?" A big, scary beast appeared. He had sharp teeth and a loud roar. Beauty's father was very afraid. The beast said, "You must stay here forever for taking my rose, or send one of your daughters to take your place." The father went home sadly and told Beauty everything. Beauty was brave and kind. She said, "I will go to the castle. I cannot let my father suffer." She hugged her father and went to the beast's castle. At the castle, the beast was surprised by Beauty's kindness. He gave her a warm room, nice food, and let her walk freely in the castle. Every day, the beast asked Beauty, "Will you stay here with me?" Beauty always said kindly, "I need more time." Beauty soon learned that the beast was not mean. He was lonely and sad. He liked talking to Beauty and listening to her stories. Beauty saw that the beast had a good heart. One day, Beauty asked to visit her sick father. The beast agreed and gave her a magic mirror to see him. "Please come back," the beast said softly. Beauty stayed with her father longer than planned. When she looked into the mirror, she saw the beast lying very sick and sad. Beauty cried and ran back to the castle. She found the beast in the garden, weak and hurt. Beauty held his hand and said, "Please don't die. I love you." At that moment, a bright light filled the garden. The beast slowly changed into a handsome prince. A spell was broken by Beauty's true love. The prince smiled and said, "Thank you for loving me for who I am." Beauty and the prince returned to the village and lived happily together. They were kind to everyone and showed that love, kindness, and a good heart are the most important things of all. The end.
The Dove and the Ant.
Once upon a quiet morning, when the sun was just waking up and the world was still soft and sleepy, a gentle river flowed through a peaceful forest. The water moved slowly, whispering secrets to the stones beneath it. Near the edge of the river lived a tiny ant. The ant was small, but very hardworking. Every day, from morning until evening, it walked back and forth collecting food, carrying crumbs many times bigger than itself. Though the ant was little, its heart was full of courage and determination. One warm afternoon, the ant walked close to the river to drink some cool water. The river sparkled beautifully, and the sound of flowing water felt calming and inviting. The ant leaned forward carefully, but suddenly slipped. The ant lost its footing and fell into the river. The water was much stronger than the ant had imagined. The current pulled it along, and the ant struggled, waving its tiny legs, growing more tired with every second. "Help! Help!" the ant cried, though its voice was very small. High above, resting peacefully on the branch of a tall tree, was a white dove. The dove had been watching the river quietly, enjoying the soft breeze and the shining sunlight. Its feathers were clean and bright, and its eyes were kind and thoughtful. Suddenly, the dove noticed something moving in the water. Looking closer, the dove saw the tiny ant fighting to stay afloat. Without a moment of hesitation, the dove plucked a large leaf from the tree. With careful aim, it dropped the leaf gently into the river, right next to the struggling ant. The ant quickly climbed onto the leaf. Safe at last, the ant floated calmly until the leaf reached the riverbank, tired but alive. The ant bowed gratefully. "Thank you," said the ant. "You saved my life. I will never forget your kindness." The dove smiled softly, spread its wings, and flew away without expecting anything in return. Chimi passed. Days turned into weeks. The forest remained peaceful. One quiet evening, the dove rested again on a tree branch near the river. The air was cool, and the sky glowed with warm colors as the sun prepared to sleep. Down below, the ant was walking through the grass when it noticed something troubling. A hunter stood nearby, quietly aiming his bow and arrow at the dove. The dove was unaware of the danger, resting peacefully, trusting the calm of the forest. The ant knew it had to act quickly. Though the ant was small, its heart was brave. It ran as fast as it could and bit the hunter sharply on the foot. "Ouch!" The hunter cried out. Startled, the hunter dropped his arrow. The sudden noise woke the dove, which flapped its wings and flew high into the sky, soft and free. From above, The dove saw what had happened and understood. The dove circled once, then flew down close to the ground. "Little ant," said the dove gently, "you saved me, just as I once saved you." The ant smiled.
The Three Little Pigs.
Once upon a time, there were 3 little pigs. They lived with their mother in a small, cozy house. One day, Mother Pig said, "My dear children, you are growing up now. It is time for you to go out into the world and build homes of your own. Remember, work hard and be careful." The 3 little pigs hugged their mother and promised to be good and careful. Then they walked down the road together, singing happily.
The First Little Pig.
The first little pig was playful and loved to have fun. Soon, he met a man carrying a bundle of straw. "Please, sir," said the pig, "may I have some straw to build my house?" The man gave him the straw, and the pig quickly built a small house of straw. It was very easy to build, and soon the pig was done. He said, "My house is ready. Now I can play all day." He danced, sang and laughed, not thinking about danger.
The Second Little Pig.
The second little pig liked to work a little, but he also liked to relax. He met a man carrying sticks. "Please, sir," said the pig, "may I have some sticks to build my house?" The man gave him the sticks. The pig built a house of sticks. It was stronger than the straw house, but he did not take much time to build it. When he finished, he said, "My house is good enough. Now I can rest." The third little pig. The third little pig was wise and hard-working. He met a man carrying bricks. "Please, sir," said the pig, "may I have some bricks to build my house?" The man gave him the bricks. The third pig worked very hard. He built his house slowly and carefully. It took many days, but his house was strong and solid. When he finished, he smiled and said, "Now I feel safe. The big bad wolf comes." One day, a big bad wolf came walking down the road. He was hungry and looking for pigs. He came to the straw house and knocked on the door. Little pig, let me come in." The first pig was scared and said, "No, no, no, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." The wolf growled, "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down." He huffed and he puffed, and whoosh, the straw house fell down. The first pig ran as fast as he could to his brother's stick house. The stick house. The wolf followed and knocked on the stick house door. Little pigs, let me come in." The pigs cried, "No, no, no, not by the hair of our chinny chin chins." The wolf said, "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down." He huffed and puffed, and crash! The stick house fell down. The 2 pigs ran quickly to their brother's brick house.
The Brick House.
The wolf came to the brick house and knocked loudly. Little pigs, let me come in." All 3 pigs said together, "No, no, not by the hair of our chinny chin chins." The wolf was very angry. He huffed and puffed and puffed and huffed, but the brick house did not move. The wolf tried again and again, but the house stayed strong. The wolf's trick. The wolf climbed onto the roof and said, "I will come down the chimney." The clever third pig quickly put a big pot of water on the fire. Soon the water was boiling. When the wolf came down the chimney, splash! He fell into the hot water. "Oh, WW!" cried the wolf. He jumped out and ran away as fast as he could, and never came back again. A happy ending. The 3 little pigs hugged each other. They were safe and happy. The first and second pigs said, "Thank you for building such a strong house. We will work harder from now on." They all lived together in the brick house, helping one another and feeling safe, and they lived happily ever after.
The shadow alien who visited at night. Long, long ago, in a quiet little town, there lived a small boy named Timmy. Timmy was in first class, and every night he slept in his cozy bed with his blue blanket and teddy bear. His room was small, warm, and safe. But one night, something strange happened. Outside Timmy's window, the moon was shining very bright. The trees made long, wiggly shadows on the wall. Timmy rolled over and closed his eyes, ready to sleep. Suddenly, whoosh, a soft sound came from the sky. Timmy opened his eyes. On the wall, he saw a big shadow. It was not a tree. It was not his chair. The shadow had a round head, long arms, and glowing eyes. Timmy's heart went thump, thump. "Who is there?" he whispered. The shadow moved slowly. It stretched and touched the wall. Timmy pulled his blanket up to his nose. He felt a little scared, but he remembered what his teacher said. "Be brave and calm." The shadow spoke in a soft, windy voice. "Do not be afraid, little human." Timmy blinked. "You can talk?" "Yes," said the shadow. "I am Zero, the shadow alien." Timmy gasped. "An alien?" Zero floated closer, but very gently. His shadow stayed on the wall, but his body looked like soft smoke. "I come from a far planet," Zero said. "My planet has no light, only shadows. I got lost and followed the moon." Timmy sat up slowly. Zero did not look angry. He looked tired. "Why are you in my room?" Timmy asked. Zero sighed. "I cannot sleep. I need a safe shadow to rest in." Timmy looked around his room. The moon made a big, dark shadow near his bed. "You can sleep there," Timmy said kindly. Zero smiled. The shadow became smaller and softer. He curled up like a sleepy cat. "Thank you," Zero whispered. "You are very brave." As Zero slept, the room became quiet. The scary feeling went away. Timmy felt warm and safe again. In the morning, the sun came up. The shadow disappeared. On Timmy's window was a tiny silver star. From that night on, Timmy was never afraid of shadows again. And whenever the moon shines bright, Zero remembers his brave human friend.